Hello, this is a video about Istanbul, and now you will see what we learned about this colorful city in 2 weeks and whether you should come here at all. Istanbul for us began with the colorful and old Balad district. Most of the buildings here are over 100 years old and I don't know how they are still standing. Despite the fact that the houses are narrow, a separate family lives on each floor. Here everyone knows each other. But many apartments here are also rented out to tourists like ours. Our flat was made of wood inside. It cracked, it leaked, and there were a lot of problems. But we quickly got used to it. In this area no one is surprised by tourists because every day they come here as if they were going to work. There are a lot of antiques for sale here, a lot of cafes, places to eat, there are a lot of colorful streets and a lot to see. Before arriving in Istanbul, it's better to activate roaming in advance or download an eSIM for Turkey with the internet. Otherwise, you will have to buy a SIM card with the internet here from operators such Turkcell and Vodafone. And the problem is that their SIM card costs at least $37 for 20 GB, but judging by numerous complaints in the internet, in fact you will get 2 GB. Therefore, we immediately downloaded an eSIM with the internet from the Mobimeter application for $7, 7 GB for each person, and it lasted for us 2 weeks. There are also shops here with double prices. That's if you are a foreigner without a Turkish phone number, then the price of the product is twice as expensive for you. But it's good that there aren't many such stores here. We also learned that 20 million people now live in Istanbul and another 14 million tourists visit this city every year. In addition, we came here in April and it was during the holidays, so there were a lot of people here. Hundreds of people were everywhere, on streets, in pedestrian crossings, in the subway, in public transport, even in parks on grass. On ordinary days, there are a lot of people here, so think twice before coming here to take a break from people, especially on Turkish holidays. There are definitely problems with the roads here, because if you are a pedestrian, the narrow sidewalks, slopes and slides await you. And if you are a driver, then you will also find descents and hills as well as narrow roads. But, by the way, here is not problem with transport. On average, it costs from 50 cents to $1 and you can travel by minibuses, buses, subway, trains and even pleasure boats. Travel on such boats costs up to $2 and a pleasure boat can stop at the same stops as buses or can immediately take you to the other side of the city. You don't even need to take a special tour to ride along the Bosphorus. This can be done on almost any of the boats for the price of a minibus. The street food here is varied and very popular among the locals. They sell everything here: mussels, bagels, fish sandwiches, grilled corn, roasted chestnuts and even intestines. Tea is also popular in Istanbul. It's available everywhere and costs less than $1. In Truss, in most places it's very strong and we were constantly served it without sugar. We always had to ask for it. There's also not a lot of tasty coffee here. Only in one place did we manage to find decent coffee, at the Naftalin Cafe. They serve coffee with cats. They hang out here every day. That's why we came here constantly. By the way, there are more than 100,000 cats in Istanbul. They are fed and respected here. We met them everywhere. In clothing stores, in cafes, in restaurants, in apartments, in cars, everywhere. Turkish sweets are also popular here and they are also sold at every turn. There are also many dondurma ice cream spots. It's prepared from milk, sugar, mastic and syrup. The consistency is thick and sticky. To sell such ice cream you definitely need to fool around with the client. Fishing is very popular in Istanbul. Many men and even women fishing from the banks and bridges. There are plenty of fish in the Bosphorus, so if a random cat steals it, no one will punish him. Istanbul has many markets and small businesses. Most of the sellers here are men. The Egyptian market is popular among tourists here, where you can find sweets, teas, dried fruits, jewelry, lamps. That's everything that is colorful and catches the eye. But if you go further down the street, you will find everything the same but cheaper. And if you go to the Grand Bazaar market, it's even cheaper there and you can even buy things in bulk. But again, there are a lot of people there and it's difficult to get through. In this city they even make money on roofs. For $15 you will be allowed to take a photo even on the roof of a house, and for another $30 you can rent a dress. In fact, in 2 weeks we visited few attractions, because some were being restored, some closed early, some had expensive entrance, but in most places there were huge queues and we didn't want to waste time on it. Of course, we visited many places and even visited the Hagia Sophia Mosque. To get here you can buy a ticket on the website for $50 or for $25 at the entrance. But in any case you will have to stand in a long line at the entrance. Of all the entertainment, we liked the boat trips around the city the most. We rode here day and night. But this was not always convenient and we often had to stand on our feet because the number of passengers exceeds the number of seats, and in order to occupy them, all the people hurried, ran, stumbled, pushed and stepped on each other's feet. Of course, if you want to enjoy the trip in peace, you can rent private boats, but they will cost $200 per trip and more. If you get tired of walking around Istanbul, you can take a pleasure boat to the Princess Islands, which are not very far away. Our trip took 2 hours to the largest island. The area of the island is almost 5.5 square kilometers, but there is not much to do here. So you can walk around the island on foot, go to a cafe or just sit in nature. You can also rent electric scooters, bicycles and other transport. Locals come here to take a break from the city. In general, this is how we spent our 2 weeks in Istanbul. So now you know a little more about this city and decide for yourself whether this is a suitable place to relax or not.